welcome to Young Kizzy, the one YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red subscribe button down below and turn on the bell icon. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section.
I'm forced to come live because the attacks from some people are just becoming a bit too much. Unity is a doing word, and in the plan of unity, I decided to take a proactive step. As you are aware, before our convention, I was supporting President Luminda for presidency of the Patriotic Front for our group. And we called ourselves the Genuine PF because we said our colleagues from BM8 had walked away in the name of calling themselves the ECL movement. We remained. Okay? So we remained and we called ourselves the PF. And I was in that group and I was supporting the presidency of President Luminda. It didn't work out like that. I wasn't happy about the results. Personally, I complained about the results. But as days went on, okay, there are some things that even President Luminda himself said, that things like unity was necessary and that we had to learn to work. One would need to learn to work with the people they have to work with so that you achieve a common goal. There were a number of things said. Okay. And to be honest, when President Makebi's team called me to say, would like you to continue in the position that President Luminda gave you, I thought it was fair for me to go there. But before I could even go there, I asked President Luminda, can I go there? He said, yes, go ahead. Now, I believe unity is a doing word. You can't be calling from unity sitting on your side where you were sitting and refuse to move to the other side and claim you are advocating for unity. I have the right from where I'm sitting to call for unity because reduce your weight. I've always been chubby, Frederick. Accept that. So unity is a doing word. And as a doing word, you have to act it out. It wasn't easy for me. I want you to understand, all of you. I really had rooted and gave everything for President Luminda to win. And as time has gone on, as my feelings have calmed down, the one thing I've realized that the actual voters in our system as an organization, as the PF that was voting, and in that what we are now calling the no-name convention, they did not complain tremendously that President Makebi won. Okay, they didn't complain. There was not an anger coming from them. I've discovered a lot of them were like, yeah, okay, fine, let's move on. Now, who was I in this whole thing to fight and continue fighting? Okay, so I thought, since these have recognized what was given to me, which I joined PF with, joined the MCC with, and it was given to me by President Luminda, or should I say it was under his leadership. They have recognized it. I offered my services to them because I believe unity. Now, I can show you, unity is a doing word. So you can't sit in your corner and say we are calling for unity, but you haven't moved. Now, why did I prefer to be with the team Makebi over my comrades who are with Sampa and over my comrades who are with Bomundubile? Not because I hate them. I don't hate any of them. Where I am sitting, I realize we are all PF and we all love the PF. That's why everybody's still using the PF regalia, because at the bottom of ourselves, we are what we call the Patriotic Front. We are very proud. And I know these are my brothers and sisters. Though some of them are calling me names and all those things, but they're still my brothers and sisters, my comrades. I would not be able to join Sampa there and Rationale Chilufya because Rationale Chilufya was number 2 to President Makebi. So why would I go and support number 2 and leave number 1? Do you understand? And number 2, we had made one thing. So now why is there suddenly another division by Sampa? I don't agree to that. People have blamed me that initially, why did I even trust him? He wasn't trustworthy, whatever. I gave him a chance to trust him, and then he decided that he wanted to stand again alone like that. I can't follow. I remain with the whole team. I don't go with the few. The same way I didn't go with Womundubile that time. I remained with the team. And my aspect of unity was that I should be proactive by picking one team, which I believe is the team that was legitimate, most legitimate, I would say. It's the most legitimate. Because if you look at it, there may be complaints, because even our team where we are with President Makebi Zulu, it's true, other people petitioned those results, right? However, what we can say is that generally, from what I've seen and interacted with most of the leaders across our branch network, across our country for the party, the structures received him. So it would be very wrong for me to continue fighting when generally the structures, the majority, appear to be okay with what is. And as we push for unity, shouldn't we be saying, okay, at this point, we can't continue fighting? There were 700 and something people that voted. And if the majority is saying, let's continue like this, who am I to fight? It's to come together with them. So it's not I hate Comrade Mundubile. No, they left us. They said we are the ECL movement and they didn't want to be part of PF. So I can't follow him because he left us and I expect him to come back. Wosampa there and Watchtalo. Watchtalo was number 2 to Boma Kebi. Why would I go for number 2 when there's number 1 here? Look, we are looking for unity in the midst of all this. And I'm just using my reasoning to say, look, yes, there's been a lot of injuring, a lot of hurting, a lot of things that have happened. But can we at least stand on some level of legitimacy? Okay, maybe God has chosen President Makebi. What should I do about that? If God has decided, I remember T.D. Jakes used to preach to say, favor and fair. So if God is allowing President Makebi to have this chance, who am I to continue fighting it? Who am I not to do my little role in the act of unity by walking to one group and say, okay, I'm here. It's hard for me, but I'm here. I'm going to support. I'm going to work with you. And I'm going to reach out to others and say, come, let us all work together. Let us reason together. Let's make one thing. Ichakosa. But it's true what President Makebi Zulu said. Womundubile, sorry, sir, but you left us. You said you're not PF, you don't want PF in Tonse Alliance, and you said you're the ECO movement. You left us behind, sir. You competed with who in the PF? So how do we follow you, sir? So it's not like we hate you. It's not like we don't believe in you. It's just that, sir, you reduced your legitimacy when you left the hold or the fold and went and stood against others who are not part of us. So it's not about hating. It's not about hating. I personally have, others of late have called me evil, a backstabber. I mean, I've never acted to backstab anybody. Neither have I ever acted to be disloyal. That's why I told Bolobin that they have called me from Team Makebi to go and operate. I want to go and operate. He said, go ahead. In my opinion, he gave me the go ahead. So I don't think I offended him. If I did, then maybe I did not understand something. But in my opinion, I asked him and said, go ahead. And I thought in my little role of unity to join Boma KB, it's unity. And if you can see the power of reconciliation between me as a person and the team Makebi as a grouping, because we said a lot of things against each other, but here we are working together. And that's the spirit we want to bring to Zambia. Look, favor and fair. Maybe it's President Makebi's time. And when it is time, there's nothing we can do. Against all odds, I didn't think he would win, but hey, he won. Why did I say he won? Because majority of our structures have not fought his candidature. They have accepted it. So this is not a long video. Unity is active. Unity has never been an in the corner situation. You can't be calling for unity, but you yourself have not taken a step towards unity. I have taken a step. I am agreeing that I did say President Makebi was not supposed to be there. But because I was supporting Bolobinda. But when democracy happens and majority are comfortable with him, who am I to continue fighting? It means I don't believe in democracy. And if I'm saying there's a need for reconciliation and there's a need for forgiveness and there's a need for unity, and yet me, I want to sit in like a corner and say, I'm calling for unity without walking to one group and say, here I am, I've brought myself, let's unite. Then I reach out to others. Where we are going, if we, the PF, and we know we are all PF, what you have there is mostly PF. Sampa, what you're pulling there, you're trying to pull PF. But the fact remains this. The fact remains that Bochitalo Chilufya, who Bosampa wants to float as the PF candidate, was number 2 to Boboma Kebi. So Boboma Kebi still remains and is supposed to be the legitimate one, right? The legitimate one. The same way Bomundubile, you left us, so you didn't participate in the group effort. So you can't call us there. It's you to come back to us. That's how it should be. At least that was my reasoning. Because I can assure you, we can all decide to be annoyed. I could still stay angry. But that is not democracy. That is not an act of unity. That is not the spirit of reconciliation and forgiveness. I said Boma Kebi was not fit. And then when I've gone there, he has not shown me a big eye or anything. He hasn't. So we have to reach that, because we who are planning to remove the UPND, we have a task of reuniting this country. And if we're going to reunite this country, are we able to prove now that we can unite ourselves or not? And you see, everybody must take a step. Everybody must take a step. Some of us have taken a step and gone to Boma Cave and said, okay, here I am of service. I didn't want you, but you know what? Life has happened. It's you is here. I'm here to support you 100%. After even the Bible backs it up. David was the youngest brother, but look, God chose him to be the king. In as much as he was the youngest brother, Moses was the was a younger brother to many, but God chose Moses out of them. So who am I to refuse if that's what God has accepted and God has ordained and God has agreed? You say, no, maybe it didn't come in the right place. You know how I reasoned it? There's a time when God told a prophet to marry a harlot. And that's the lineage that births Jesus. Do you know that? There's a time the Israelites were talking about. It came by some one brother stealing the birthright of the other brother. Do you know that? So sometimes God allows what he allows. But we can't continue fighting because we are running out of time. We have run out of time. And I took my step in unity. I did not betray anybody. Even when I was supporting Bolubinda, no one sends me. I make my own decisions based on what I see and deduce and analyze. I work through my own feelings of hurt and disappointment, and I choose to do the right thing. And when we have Boma Kebi, Bomundubile, and Watchtalo Chilufya, the right person in this equation is Boma Kebi. Okay? Boma Kebi. Because Bomundubile left us. Watchtalo Chilufya was number 2 to Boma Kebi. If you want to add Bokatotobe, he was number 1. Almost towards the end of the numbers of the people who stood in that convention. So you can't expect me to do nothing but to follow who was number 1. That's what I believe in. We can't team up with Bayou PND. You promised a 50 kwacha bag of millimio, you didn't deliver. You promised cheaper fuel, you didn't deliver. You promised democracy, you didn't deliver. You promised rule of law, you didn't deliver. You promised freer institutions, free of ruling government interference, you did not deliver. By UPND, you did not deliver the very fundamentals that you promised. You promised free education up to university. You have only made law up to what? Secondary school? And even then the quality is so bad because even in the 5 years you've had chance to rule, you have not prepared to better the education quality because now we are having 150 kids in a class and the education is so low. They're not learning anything. So why would I team up with UPND? The Bill 7 that you have forced down our throats. You have refused to release the way people voted in parliament, which is a requirement of the law. You don't follow the rule of law. The people that beat me in Kawamba, they are free out there even standing as candidates. You don't follow the rule of law. You have people who got my phone still operating. You don't follow the rule of law. We have seen issues of corruption in the UPND government today just being silent, but the issues in the PF of people where they were accused of corruption, they've been jailed. You are not following the rule of law. We are coming with a bag with Mama Kebi Zulu, because in that bag, we want to put everything you have not brought. And that is telling the people the truth. And that is, we want development. We have put development in that bag. We want unity. We have put unity in that bag. We want democracy. We have put democracy in that bag. We want rule of law. We have put rule of law in that bag. Anyway, I understand why others you're going to say what you say. But personally, I have not betrayed anybody. I have made a decision that I reasonably believe is the best looking at the circumstances. Boma KB out of this was selected. We had complaints, but the majority of the voters were okay with it. Democracy means the majority wins. Therefore, if they're not complaining the majority, then we follow democracy. Womundu, as much as I love you, sir, with your team, but the fact is you left us. You went that side and said you are the ECL movement. We remained as PF. But you can't keep changing goalposts and expect us to continue following. Personally, it's hard. Because which territory you have picked was number 2 to Boma KB. That's all I wanted to say. Unity is me. Because I took a step to unite with Team Makebi, even after everything I said. Because in the end, if God wants Makebi, there's nothing any of us can do about. Because favor ain't fair. And that's why I should be MP for Chawama. It's our time.